The Mexican superstar, pound for pound, one of the best. Canelo Álvarez returned to the ring, taking on Jaime Munguia, an undefeated superstar from Mexico. You guys got any predictions? So he returned back, took on Dolorme. He did what everyone expected him to do, stop him. Vergil Ortiz, he's back in the ring in August against Tim Tszyu.
Honestly, this fight is as close as a 50-50 fight can be. Now that card is going to be in LA. This card is stacked. This is like an old school type of boxing card where every single fight is going to be a great fight.
Basically going to be a Don King production type beat.
Honestly, we need a little bit of Don King back, you know?
Welcome back to another episode of the Last Round Podcast, where we cover everything from traditional boxing to influencer boxing and everything in between. For today's episode, we'll be going over Canelo Álvarez versus Jaime Munguia, going about the fight and about our predictions for this upcoming showdown between the two Mexican stars. We'll also be discussing about Vergil Ortiz's return to the ring as he's able to get the first round knockout and what's next for him in the fight against Tim Tszyu. But before we dive into the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also follow us on all forms of social media. Link is down in the description below. And lastly, also join us on our Discord. We're trying to build up a community, and you joining would be very helpful for us. Link is also in the description down below. Now, let us dive into the episode. Canelo Álvarez returned to the ring, the Mexican superstar, pound for pound, one of the best, and among, if not the greatest of his era. He's taking on Jaime Munguia, an undefeated superstar from Mexico as well. He's coming off a career best performance against John Ryder. What are your guys' thoughts about this fight coming in?
Yeah, it's Canelo fight week, I'm super excited. I feel like a lot of people have been hating on Canelo. He's gotten a lot of bad press recently, and it's just gonna be good to see him put all that to rest when he beats the absolute shit out of Munguia.
Yeah, very exciting. I think it's great that we've had, what was it, 2 weeks ago it was Ryan Garcia. That was a huge fight. Now 2 weeks later it's another huge fight again. You're gonna feel it, definitely, the atmosphere when they're doing their workouts and whatnot. This is a pretty interesting matchup. It's your typical two Mexicans battling that are going to battle it out, center of the ring type ordeal. Very interesting. I kind of want to know what you guys think, how the fight is how the fight's gonna go.
Just like gonna go. Yeah, it is gonna be interesting because their styles are I think the styles are perfect for each other, honestly. Jaime Munguia wants someone that's going to come at him so he can, start unleashing his hands, let his hands go. And Canelo wants someone that isn't going to box him, out-jab him like a Bivol. He wants someone, like Jaime Munguia, who also wants to give the fight. It wants to give the fans the fight that they want to see, exciting fights, Mexican versus Mexican. So I'm really expecting like a really good fight and a very exciting fight because both of these guys, they go forward. Canelo Álvarez, obviously, people kind of criticize him sometimes because he's a very flat-footed and just like swings with a lot of power. And Jaime Munguia, he's also another guy who doesn't box. He started boxing a little bit more, but he's an aggressive fighter. He goes forward, and what he wants to do is let his hands go, throw combinations to Canelo. That's his key to victory. So I'm super excited to see what happens. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting because Canelo likes a guy who throws a lot, so then he can counter him. He's mostly a counter puncher, so that's a key to victory to him. Wait for just time Munguia, whether it's the left hook or the right hand. Munguia is a guy who, as what you said, likes to go forward and throw quite a bit of punches. So I don't know. I really want to see how that goes, but also the key factor is if Freddie Roach has done anything new to improve Jaime Munguia's attack, defense, or whatever.
I would say, the biggest thing would be improving the defense. Because Canelo, he's the counter puncher. He's going to try to look and find the openings. And he will find the openings, Jaime Munguia has shown that he is susceptible to hooks. And, Canelo's bread and butter is a hook. And it's not just a regular hook. It's a power hook. So, I'm interested to see how Freddie Roach and Jaime Munguia's team overall are planning on neutralizing the hook, or what they can do to minimize the damage that he could potentially receive from a Canelo power or left hook.
Yeah, because this is one thing. Munguia, he gets hit a lot, and he hasn't fought like super elite level guys. And this is one of the things that's making me like lean towards Canelo, is the fact that Munguia gets touched up in a lot of his fights. His defense isn't the greatest. That's definitely his weak point in his arsenal. So when you're going up against a guy like Canelo, if Canelo lands those punches on you, like that left hook, like it's gonna be a fast night. You know, it's not gonna be a good night for Munguia. So I'm interested to see what Freddie Roach's game plan is, because we saw his last fight against John Ryder. He looked his best ever.
Phenomenal.
He looked phenomenal. He was outside with the jab, using the jab, very calculated, very measured. He was doing what Freddie Roach was telling him to do in the corner, and it paid off really well. So I'm expecting an even better Jaime Munguia than what we saw against John Ryder. So you can't count him out, but it's just Canelo Álvarez, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, we should be expecting a better Jaime Munguia. I mean, like you said, the last fight against John Ryder was incredible. And that was only the first time him and Freddie Roach had been working together. So now they've had more time to develop a relationship, develop chemistry, and bond together. And hopefully that's, brought forth a new type of like what's the word for that, like
style, arsenal.
Yeah, something like that. Like he's more able to develop
new trick up his sleeve.
Maybe, yeah. Like
he's more rounded out.
Yeah, exactly. So he's had more time to adjust to the way that Freddie Roach, his style of teaching, of coaching, of training. So we should. I think, and also the occasion. He's fighting one of the pound for pound best in the world in Canelo Álvarez for undisputed. So I mean, this is the biggest fight of his career, and I'm sure that he's fired up. He's training really hard. So I mean, if we saw him perform super well against John Ryder, I assume he's preparing even harder now for the Canelo fight.
And
no, you go.
Okay, and this is one thing about Canelo too. He's what, 34? He's 34.
Mid 30s.
He's like 34, I think, or 33. He's been a professional.
33.
He's been a professional since he was 15 years old. He's had some absolute wars. You know what I'm saying? He's a lot of strain on his body. How is he looking? Is he gonna be 100% the Canelo Álvarez that we've seen? Because a lot of people have been saying in his recent fights he hasn't looked the best.
Yeah, I would say just one thing that comes into mind when I hear that is the stamina has definitely taken a downward hill. When he fought Triple G, and then I think afterwards, like that year, he fought Daniel Jacobs as well around that time frame. I mean, Canelo looked phenomenal. Like he would end the fights really well. It looked like he wasn't gassed. And now, like even when he fought Charlo, he was still taking it slow. He still very much paced himself. And him being the bigger guy, I don't know. I would say that part is questionable. And he has, prior to that, like 2017, 2018, 2019, like era, Canelo did have problems with stamina. Sometimes he wouldn't finish the fight all the way 100%, like after round 12 type ordeal.
So wait, so you're saying that? I mean, he's always had problems with stamina. That's not a new issue. But that Charlo fight, his last fight, I mean, then again, Charlo didn't really do anything to kind of get Canelo, out of his comfort zone. In fact, Canelo was standing up for a good majority of the fight. He never sat down in between rounds. So I mean, you can't really make a good basis off of that. Off of that one, but I mean that. Like the Golovkin fight, the third one, the trilogy, he got tired in the second half. That one was bad.
He received a lot of criticism after that fight because, they were saying he didn't look 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of fans also have been speculating that he's already in the decline, which I think there is some truth into that. I mean, he is 33 years old. He's been at the top of the game for many years, for a decade. So, once you reach that age and you've had that many fights, that many training camps, there's a lot of strain in your body, like you mentioned. And I'm sure it's taken a toll to, his physical peak, the way he's able to fight in the ring,
Yeah, I think definitely for sure Canelo. Yeah, it's just too much strain on the body. I don't think he's going to be 100% in his prime anymore. But I'm expecting still like 95%, 90%, or 85%, 90% Canelo in that ring. So I think that's still more than enough, coupled with the fact of just how much experience he has in the big stage to defeat a young, hungry Jaime Munguia.
Yeah, that's funny too. I guess Charlo was a bad example, but I mean, a mutual opponent that him and Munguia have is John Ryder, and that was last year. He did show signs of fatigue. He showed signs that he couldn't finish John Ryder, which is kind of weird because it was a smaller ring. Canelo was the bigger guy, and he still wasn't able to get him out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it also comes down to the styles, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one thing. I think I like. Yeah, you can't really do it. It's called like boxing math, or like there's people try to like come out with like these equations like, oh, Jaime Munguia beat John Ryder by KO and Canelo couldn't KO him, so therefore like Jaime Munguia's better. They do these crazy things. I think at the end of the day, it's mainly styles make fights. Sometimes it's just it doesn't happen for a certain fighter. Certain fighters' style is more aggressive, more maybe. Yeah, I could be 100% open to the idea that Jaime Munguia could hit harder than Canelo Álvarez, because I mean he's a young, hungry fighter, and we've seen him pack a punch all the way back at 154. Now he's not dehydrated anymore. He's not killing himself to make this weight. He's a full-fledged 168. He does have pop in his power.
Yeah, I mean, seeing John Ryder get dropped that many times, no, John, please come back. But so I'm like you said, I'm still expecting Canelo to come on top, mainly because I want to see that Benavidez fight, man. And if he loses, I mean, if let's say Jaime Munguia pulls off the biggest upset, defeats Canelo Álvarez, that takes away from any shot at Benavidez and Canelo, right? That should.
Oh yeah, I mean, because it's at that point it'd be like kind of a passing of the torch. It'd be Jaime Munguia as the next Mexican superstar that's gonna elevate Mexican boxing and boxing in general. So I think, and then he'd also be the undisputed champion at 168. He'd be calling the shots now. It'd be if that hypothetical happens where Jaime Munguia wins, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be crazy. Not what's good to be expected.
So if Canelo wins, he should fight Benavidez very soon, or 1 or 2 fights after.
Well, he should.
Well, he should. Yeah, I think so, because a lot of people criticize Canelo, right? Okay. This is even when this fight was made, everyone was angry, right? Everyone wanted him to fight Benavidez. He's ducking Benavidez. Yeah, I would agree. Even as a Canelo fan, I think you're dumb to say that Canelo isn't ducking Benavidez. The problem is, I just think that Canelo, at the end of the day, he can do whatever the hell he wants, man. I mean, for the past 10 years, he's been at the elite level, beating world champions after world champions, conquering a division in 11 months. Like, this is crazy stuff, legendary Hall of Fame type of stuff. If he doesn't fight one fighter in his career, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to ruin his legacy. Although I would like to see it, though. I would still criticize Canelo and say, give the fans the Benavidez fight, because we are asking for it, and it's an entertaining, interesting fight, which is what he wants to give his fans.
That's the thing. Also, when it comes to the fans, because when Canelo decided to take a different route and not take on Benavidez, people were calling him a duck. Those who were criticizing them, but the people who were supporting them, who were backing him up, were saying, like you mentioned right now, oh, he's the king, he's the one who calls all the shots. He is the undisputed at the weight, so he everything, he does whatever he wants, right? Then again, those are the same people who criticize and hate on Floyd Mayweather. People were Floyd was out there during this time winning. He was calling all the shots and whatever, and people hated him, saying like, "Oh, you're not taking the fight, this and that. You're ducking Pacquiao. You're doing all this, yada yada." And it's funny now that the roles have reversed to now Canelo being the man, and those people who were hating on Floyd now are backing up Canelo and saying like, "Oh, it's fine because he's the man who runs it." But they're the same ones who were hating on Floyd, so make it make sense,
The hypocrisy is there.
Yeah, it's there. So I'm surprised that people often say that when I'm just like, you guys are the same type of people who were criticizing Floyd for doing this.
Yeah, they switch up like every single second. Like they don't even care. It's really just it depends how much they like the fighter. The reason everyone hated Floyd is because everyone said he was boring. He just boxed, stick and move. Where Canelo, he's very entertaining. He swings punches. But going back, another reason I don't believe that the Benavidez Canelo fight isn't gonna happen anymore is because I think Benavidez is going up to 175. He wins. Let's say he wins his next fight, which I believe he will. Now he's the number one contender to the winner of Bivol versus Beterbiev. So now he has a whole new target in his life. He talked about it as well. He said, "I'm not focused on Canelo anymore. I mean, like he's moving up to 175, and there's absolute killers in there. You can't just be focused on Canelo at 168 when you got people like Beterbiev and Bivol at 175. So that's why another reason I don't think that fight's gonna happen. I think now we can kind of see it. They're just drifting apart."
Which is a damn shame, right? A damn shame. A fight that should have happened. Oh, man. It may not even happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be on one of those videos that you see what if fights.
Yeah.
And then people, they're going to find new ways to criticize Canelo and be like, you ducked him, you know, this and that. But, I mean, so going back to this fight, though, it's packed with a pretty good card. Or, I mean, I want to say pretty good. It's packed with a decent card.
An all-right card.
Yeah, it's an all-right card. I mean, you have the return of Brandon Figueroa, too.
The Heartbreaker.
The Heartbreaker against Jesse Magdaleno, which is kind of I'm not too big of a fan of that matchup.
Is that the guy that got knocked out by Pitbull?
No,
that's another Magdaleno.
Diego.
Oh, Diego Magdaleno. Okay.
Yeah, he's
I believe he became world champion. I believe Dogba beat him.
Dogba did beat him,
yeah.
Also Raymond Ford beat him. But we also have the return of Mario Barrios. Stayonis is back for the first time in like I don't know how long. Yeah, poor guy, man. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
You also have El Mono. I think it is.
Oh yes,
El Mono Ramos.
At 154.
Yeah,
right?
his return. Yeah, after his loss against the Hammer Erickson Lubin. So so we have some pretty big names in the card. I'm excited to see what see if it lives up to the expectations. But I mean everyone's just trying to watch that Canelo fight and see what happens next, because I think everyone's trying to decide or trying to figure out what's his next move after the fight, whether he fights Benavidez or if he takes a different route. But realistically, what other fights are there for him at 168 saying that he wins this weekend?
Yeah, this is another thing. It's hard to pick an opponent for Canelo. I mean, he cleared the division in 11 months. He cleared the world champions. Maybe, actually, this guy's ranked number 2, I think. But me personally, I don't think I'd want to see this fight because I don't think it'd be that competitive. It's Christian Mbili.
Oh,
he's ranked number 2, and I forgot.
French, is
he really? Organization? Yeah, I was so surprised. They were showing it last night in the Vergil Ortiz card. They were showing because they were kept on putting ads of Canelo and Munguía. He's number 2 ranked, and I forgot which organization. Yeah.
Oh wow, what the
it's
heck?
Insane. Yeah.
Did you happen to see David Morrell?
Yeah, David Morrell was also up there. He was number 3, I think 4.
3 or 4.
He was up there. He was top 5.
Yeah, I mean that's a fight that I would like to see him because I know he's an elite, but I mean he doesn't have the fans.
He doesn't have the fans. He doesn't have the resume.
It's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose.
If you look at it on Canelo's side.
He's still a dangerous opponent too.
Dangerous.
So.
He's a very dangerous opponent. He's very hungry, and he doesn't have that much fans. So he wins. People are gonna be like, meh, to Canelo. They're gonna be like, who'd you fight?
Yeah. So also, speaking of David Morrell, he's fighting on the Crawford and Madrimov undercard, and he is fighting at super lightweight. So at 175, so he's going up to fight for an interim, I believe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But so he's moving up to 175 for his next fight. I don't know if it's temporary or if it's permanent, but regardless, he is moving up to 175.
That's interesting. So maybe we'll see another fighter just leave the 168 division,
and then leaving it vacant or leaving it kind of waist bearing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what other big names? I mean, you could have a Caleb Plant rematch, right? I mean,
you could.
Didn't Caleb's last Plant he lost?
Yeah, he lost again.
Yeah, against Benavidez. He hasn't fought in over a year
since
now.
Benavidez,
yeah. So I mean, the division's not looking too stacked anymore.
Maybe Charlo.
I would. The other one.
Yeah, get the other Charlo, bro. You gotta beat the twins.
I wouldn't be mad, and then he just retires.
Canelo?
Canelo would be riding off into the sunset.
Imagine he knocks out Munguía, and then he's like, okay, guys, all this stress on my body, I'm done.
Yeah.
How mad would the people be? I think people would be pissed.
People would call him Duck. People would say anything about Benavidez, and then they'd completely forget that he was dominating boxing for the past 10 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's because they just look at the recent times.
Yeah.
They don't really look back at what he did, even though he is a first ballot Hall of Famer
for sure.
Yeah, so that's what we got. We got the return of Canelo Álvarez, man. You guys got any predictions? Let's say some predictions right here.
Okay. You go first.
You look, I like Jaime Munguia, you know, especially when at 154 when he became world champion. You know, that was kind of the first one of the first fights that I remember seeing of him. But yeah, sadly, I'm gonna go with Canelo. I think Canelo, you know, it's a safe money or whatever, but I just think Canelo just has the experience over him. You know, he's fought at the elite level for longer. I just think his counter punches is going to be very much on point. I think all he needs to do is land a 3-punch combination, and he could really get Jaime Munguia out of there. Mm-hmm. So I would say a Canelo KO in the second half, just second half of the fight.
Yeah. I think, I'm in the same agreement. I think this fight, Canelo has a very high chance of a KO because seen from Jaime's last couple of fights, he does get hit a lot. His defense isn't the best. I think Canelo can find his chin, especially with all the experience that he has. You know, maybe he might not be 100% in his prime anymore, but I still think he's working hard enough and he has the experience enough to pull off a KO in like the 10th round against Jaime Munguia.
Here, this fight's kind of interesting because, I mean, they're both pressure fighters, you know. Munguia is more aggressive, you know, as a pressure fighter, as you saw during the John Ryder fight and his fights previous to that. But Canelo's also a very calculated pressure fighter. You know, he's always trying to cut off the ring, you know, always going in slow, you know, breaking the waist, trying to find openings. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how both fighters deal with that because, I mean, they're both going to want to implement or dictate the pace, dictate the rhythm, and whoever's able to start being more aggressive, to let their aggression show over their opponent. I think that's going to have a big... what's the word? I keep forgetting the word that I'm trying to say. It's gonna play a big role to the outcome of the fight. But like you said, I do agree with your point. I do think Canelo's far more experienced, and I think he's he's gone through a lot of wars, a lot of battles, and he knows how to fight at the top level and the biggest stage. He's done this countless of times, 20, 30, 40 times. So he's not a stranger to the limelight, and I do think he is gonna find openings in Jaime Munguia. Regardless, I do think Munguia, we're gonna see the best version of him, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to defeat Canelo Álvarez. I got Canelo Álvarez by UD.
Okay. Yeah.
No stoppage here.
Yeah,
no stoppage here. No.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
Would you be surprised if he struggles? Canelo struggles?
No.
I think I would. No. No. I wouldn't either. No.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, how much like struggling? I'd still, if the fight's competitive, yeah, I'm expecting a competitive fight, and I'm expecting, Munguia could win some rounds, a couple, but like if the fight's like close, damn near a draw going into the 11th, then I'd be like, whoa. I mean, like, Canelo.
Hey, yo, do something, bro.
Yeah, it's like, come on, start picking it up, boy.
Okay. Start spamming the hooks, right? Do everything. Yeah. No, yeah, like you said, I'm expecting I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was competitive. Like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Munguia's winning some rounds. But the thing that's gonna be funny is that if that does happen, like you said, we wouldn't be surprised, but people online are gonna be giving them shit.
Yeah, they're gonna give him shit.
They'll be like, oh, he's losing rounds. Benavidez would wipe him.
Yeah, this is one thing though. I still think Canelo has a lot of fans though.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's still the face of boxing. Would you say?
Yeah.
Or is it Ryan Garcia now?
No. Okay. It's Canelo Álvarez. Canelo Álvarez is gonna be the face of boxing, I think, until he retires, or maybe he gets defeated again, dethroned at the 168. Yeah. Maybe we could see a switch up of the face. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are our predictions for the Canelo Álvarez as he takes on Jaime Munguia this coming weekend. So big fight. The thing is, that's going to kickstart big fights coming in, you know, because the month of May all the way to like August, it's packed for the boxing fans, you know, because after this one we also get Lomachenko and Kambosos, and then we also get Inoue taking on Luis Neri. So we have so many fights this month. We also have the undisputed showdown of Tyson Fury and Usyk. Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall taking on the rematch, and then we also get in June 1st we get the return, or the finally the undisputed at 175 between Arthur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, and after that we get so many other fights, man. But for right now, let's focus on May because May is packed weekend after weekend. I think this is great because finally, you remember that there's always an era or a time where boxing fans weren't getting the big fights, and it was like a waist bearing, man. It was so bad. People were always complaining. They're like, "This is what's wrong with boxing." People converted over to the UFC, but now look at it, man. Since last year, I feel like we've gotten so many more big fights, and I'm really grateful for that. And I mean, I feel like we're living in luxury right now. So let's take advantage. Let's enjoy and absorb and soak it all in.
We should be thankful. These fighters are finally making it happen, which oh my god, that's probably been the biggest problem of boxing, and what's been holding it back as a sport for so long is the fact that all the politics, all the fighters didn't want to lose their oath, they didn't want to fight against each other. But now, I mean, this year I think has been one of the best years in recent times. A lot of big fights have been happening. Thankfully, throughout pretty much the summer, we're just gonna get like fight after fight. So as boxing fans, we just gotta make sure to thank these guys. Make sure to thank the fighters, the promoters, all of them.
So
Saudi Arabia.
Speaking of Saudi Arabia.
Speaking of Saudi, So before we speak about Saudi, let's talk about a fight the fights that happened this weekend. Main one I want to touch on is Vergil Ortiz. He returned back, second time fighting this year. He fought back in the first card of the year back in January, where he delivered a very or it was very
anticlimactic.
I wouldn't even say everyone expected him to win by KO.
Yeah, but remember the referee jumped in like way too early.
It was like it left a sour taste. Everyone expected a KO, but not that way, But so he returned back, took on Dolorme, and he did what everyone expected him to do. Stop him, KO him in the first round. Body shot, beautiful body shot. First of all, oh my gosh, beautiful body shot. Had him down. He couldn't recover. Over. Vergil Ortiz is back, and he is fighting. Also, he's back in the ring in August on the undercard of Crawford and Madrimov against Tim Tszyu, man. Oh my dude, this fight has when I found out this fight happened, I was going crazy. I was on X scrolling, and the first thing I see is that boom, like Tim Tszyu versus Vergil Ortiz confirmed. Max Coppinger posted it, and I was like, yo, you gotta be shitting me right now. So that's a huge fight, and supposedly I think it was I saw something along the lines that Vergil Ortiz's dad didn't want Ortiz to take on Tim Tszyu yet, but Ortiz was very insistent on it, and hence why the fight was made.
I think that's amazing. I think because Vergil Ortiz, I mean, he was like 10 months out of the ring. 12 months?
I think it was close to a year, if not a good 11 months.
Because for the people that don't know, he was killing himself to make 147, which was the weight class he was in. He had a fight scheduled, and I think fight week. Was it during the weigh-ins or after the weigh-ins or before?
I think it was like before.
Before the weigh-ins, he fainted. And then they had to take him to the hospital, and then the fight was canceled, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he was killing himself. He had to take some time off to recover. He lost a lot of time, and a lot of time in his prime. These are the times that he should be fighting the most. And now, this year, this is going to be his third fight this year. It's a great sign. It shows that he's in the ring. It shows that he's not slacking off. It shows that he wants to get back on top because he had so much hype around his name at the 147 division, and I think this is amazing. Now he's challenging the former world champion Tim Tszyu. Fantastic fight. I mean, this fight. Honestly, this fight is as close as a 50-50 fight can be.
Yeah, I like this fight too. Yeah, I mean, you just look at the accolades that both fighters have, and it's phenomenal. You look at the KO percentage, and it's crazy. It's up there in the 90s. For both guys. And one of them has like damn near like 100%.
He does.
He does. So I mean, you can't hate on it. One thing is though, I'm kind of. It kind of sucks because I'm a Vergil fan, so it kind of sucks that this is his first big fight on a big stage, but it's not for a title.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, people always say no one cares about the belts anymore. Just make the big fights happen. And the thing is, props to both guys, man. Tim Tszyu, he's always said it that he's not like these modern day fighters. He's a throwback fighter. He wants the big fights. He doesn't care. He wants to smoke, and he's showing that he wants to smoke. I mean, people were expecting, after he lost against Fundora in a very controversial way, people were saying, he needs that Fundora rematch. Give him that rematch, yada yada. But Tim Tszyu was all like, let me fight Vergil Ortiz next, man. And then Vergil Ortiz was like, let me fight Tim Tszyu next. And, oh, man, dude, this fight is so crazy. The thing is, I'm a big fan of both fighters. I like the way they fight. I like their style. And so seeing this fight match up, it's a great fight, but low key I'm a little like heartbroken, like a little, you know, it turned me apart because I'm like I want to root for both guys, but like it's
you don't
hard
want
to choose.
either one of them to lose.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm fan favorites of both fighters. So you know, once they get in the ring, I'm gonna be like, I don't even know who to go for.
Yeah. The next day, regardless who wins, you're gonna be crying like, no.
I'll be sad, but it's such a great fight, man. Yeah, and you know who delivered it? Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Your Excellency again.
So yeah, now that card is going to be in LA.
Yeah.
So for the first time, Saudi Arabia is hosting an event outside of their country in Los Angeles, California, USA, and this card they delivered.
Yeah.
You know, they delivered in their first US card. Crawford's coming back. We got Pitbull back in there. We have Tim Tszyu. Speak on the card. Who's all on there? Say the big names, you know.
So you got Andy Ruiz, the return of Andy Ruiz as he takes on Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Big baby,
man. You also got Andy Cruz, the very know, probably the biggest prospect in boxing today, as he takes on Antonio Moran. You also got the return of Pitbull, as is defending his championship for the first time against Jose Valenzuela. El Rayo is back, and he takes on Pitbull for the 140 WBA belt. Then you got Vergil Ortiz as he takes on Tim Tszyu. And then you also have David Morrell as he takes on Khalid. I can't pronounce the name, but you got the return of David Morrell. And then lastly, the main event, you have the return of pound-for-pound king, Terence Crawford, as he takes on Israel Madrimov for the WBA World Super Welterweight and also for the WBO Interim Super Welterweight title. So it's a very packed card.
This card is stacked. This is like an old school type of boxing card where every single fight is gonna be a great fight. So I mean, if you're planning on going to a boxing event, you should go to there. So you can, from the first bell, you're gonna have nonstop action.
Yeah, it's basically gonna be a Don King production type beat.
Yeah, honestly, we need a little bit of Don King back, you know?
Yeah, right?
A healthy amount.
And I would say for just like the casual fans that don't really tune into boxing like that, like this is, I would say, like an equivalent to like a decent like UFC, like, you know, if they watch UFC or you know, mixed martial arts or whatever. Yeah, I would say it's similar to that. You know how like
I think
UFC,
this is better, man.
It's like, no, in the sense of like
I think
the comparison. But yes. Like you have heavy hitters from like top to bottom, main card. Usually in boxing, like Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, that main card wasn't, you know, the best. This one, oh dude, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, from the first, I don't know what they plan on doing for the undercard, but I mean, if this is the main card, I'm tuning in for the entire thing. I mean, we always do either way. We tune into the whole thing, but this one I'm for sure gonna be like hooked in since the first round all the way to the main event. So I'm very excited about this card, man. Very, very excited. But
definitely gonna buy it too.
Yeah.
We have Russian link.
No, but let's talk a little bit about the main event.
Okay.
Terence Crawford as he takes on Israel Madrimov. You know, Terence Crawford going up to 154 officially confirmed, and he's going for a world title at 154. And he's taking on undefeated Uzbekistan fighter Madrimov. Madrimov's coming off a KO win. He fought on the undercard of. What was the undercard? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think you. I remember you telling me one.
Yeah. He found the undercard of what was the main event? Oh, Anthony Joshua. Yeah, Joshua and Ngannou.
Oh, okay,
yeah, he found the undercard there.
Oh, like in February or March.
Yeah. He's only 10-0 with one draw. So he's one of those a lot of fights in the amateurs and then switching over to the pros. So he's only at 11 fights. It's gonna be his 12th fight. So he's 12 fights and gonna take off the pound for pound king and Terence Crawford.
Number
That's crazy.
one. Yeah, it is insane.
The thing was Crawford, man. I like, you know, I always had like I always poked at Crawford back in the past, you know, because I wasn't really too sold on him.
We were Spence fans.
Yeah, we were Spence fans, though. My bad, y'all.
Got it wrong that time.
But after the ass beating that he gave Spence, I have so much respect for Crawford. My only thing is, I wish he was more active. Man, he's returned. He's gonna be over a year once he returns back. Over a year out of the ring. He's already 34, 35 or 35ish. Yeah. So he's already at that age where most fighters, you know, tend to see a decline in their physique and the way they fight. So the thing is with Crawford, I think he's gonna win. I think he's gonna stop him. in my opinion, because Crawford is Crawford. But yeah, I just wish he was more active in the ring.
Yeah, and it also makes no sense because he didn't really take that much damage his last fight.
He took like nothing.
He was the one that was inflicting the damage on Spence. So it really doesn't make sense. I don't know why he takes such long breaks from boxing, from fighting. And also, I wish he promoted more too, man. I wish he had a little bit more personality. I'll rephrase that. He does have a personality, but I just think he doesn't show it.
Yeah.
He never really talks that much on social medias. Like, I wish he was more, vocal because he does have a personality, and he's just such a great fighter, man. He's in my number one pound for pound. So it just sucks to see that we don't get to see him that much.
Yeah. Do you guys want to do predictions or
no? I think
just
way too.
Way too early. Okay.
We got we have like 20 other fights in between.
Yeah. I feel like he does that quite a bit though. Like when he fought on BLK or that one network, when he knocked out
David Avanesyan.
Yeah, he also took some time.
Avanesyan.
He also took some time off, and then he knocked him out within like 7 rounds or whatever. I mean, it's just typical what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been working for him.
Oh, so yeah, no, it's true, but I just want to see him more often as like a fan. Yeah. Like, I just want to see him in the ring. But it also kind of sucks that he's fighting his opponent. I don't know his name. Madrimov. He's fighting his opponent because I wish he would have fought Fundora or Tszyu. Honestly, Tszyu's on the same card. Like, me personally, this is my personal opinion. Yeah. I think Tszyu won the fight against Fundora. I think he should still be world champion. Why not give him Crawford? I mean, they were already in talks even before the fight of Crawford going up in weight and challenging Tim Tszyu. So I guess now that he doesn't have the title, maybe that's what Crawford is chasing. He's chasing 3 times undisputed in 3 different weight classes, which would be the first time in history once again. And so maybe he wants belts. Maybe he wants to go undisputed because if me personally, I would have probably chose Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, because it's a more entertaining fight. You know what you're expecting. This guy, his opponent, I still can't pronounce his name.
Madrimov.
Yeah, Madrimov is such a tricky fighter. He's such a guy who has lots of tricks up his sleeve. He switches just like Crawford, stances and whatnot. High ring IQ. He's one of those fighters. Decorated amateur. Has fought at the international level, at the amateur. In the amateur boxing, he has over 200, 300 plus fights. Probably fought every Saturday, really. Yeah. Growing up, so the experience is there for him as well. I think it's a tough fight. I don't see Crawford stopping this dude. He has pretty good lateral movement and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna give my predictions because I haven't looked too much into this guy. I probably saw him fight in the Fury and Ngannou, not the Ngannou Joshua one, but I probably just forgot. Yeah. So I will have to look up to see his fights. Yeah.
Well, Terence Crawford returns and one of the best cards of the year. Let me rephrase that. The best card of the year. Terence Crawford returns, and I'm very excited for it. Saudi Arabia delivers once again, and I hope that they keep on delivering. And I know they will because Your Excellency said that he plans on being in boxing for many, many years. So, if he's treating us fans with these types of fights, then we should probably expect more fights like these, more packed cards like these. And
one thing I like about that is now he's going outside of Saudi Arabia too.
That's better.
Yeah, because at the beginning it was just all Saudi Arabia, Riyadh or Riyadh or whatever. But now he's in the U.S., so this is amazing. That means he's just gonna keep on getting even more popular. He's gonna be introduced to the casuals here in the U.S. They're gonna start recognizing him, knowing more his name. So that's amazing for boxing. Now people are gonna start tuning in and be like, "Oh, this Saudi promotion is the best promotion. They actually put great undercards."
Yeah. And then he's gonna start promoting worldwide. Not just in the USA. Maybe in the UK, maybe over in Japan. Maybe even in I don't know, like fucking Argentina and stuff like that.
Fuck Argentina. Shout out all the Argentines that are watching.
So we're expecting some big things, big names. Isaac Cruz, for example, he's fan favorite. He's been a fan favorite since the Gervonta Davis fight, but now he's even at a crazy moment in his career, and so many people are very excited to see him return so quick too. So a lot of these fighters are returning really quick, really fast, and Saudi Arabia is delivering once again to the boxing world. You guys have anything else you guys wanna bring up, mention?
No.
All right. Well, let us know down below, guys, your prediction for this weekend. Canelo Álvarez takes on Jaime Munguia. Who do you got winning? Do you think Jaime Munguia has enough in his arsenal to pull off the upset, or do you think Canelo is too experienced and will be too much for Jaime Munguia? Let us know down below. Also, let us know about your reaction to the Crawford and Madrimov undercard. Is it the undercard? Is it the best card of the year? Best card of the decade? Let us know down below what you guys think. Also, is Tim Tszyu versus Vergil Ortiz a 50-50 fight? And if not, why? So let us know everything that you guys are thinking boxing down in the comments below. Lastly, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also follow us on all forms of social media. We are on X, TikTok, and Instagram. Or we are on TikTok until they decide to
until TikTok is banned.
Until it gets banned. Also, lastly, follow us on our Discord. Join the community. We're trying to build something. Link is down in the description below. So this was your boy Pablo, and I am with Rudo and Asa, and this was the Last Round Podcast. Thank you for watching.